One of the reasons PCRM is so effective, it's because we show up. And to start us off, let me welcome our Director of Government Affairs, Andrew Binovi, who has shown up on Capitol Hill, where there's a lot of activity today as the new Congress is sworn in and gets things rolling. Andrew, do we have you?
I am here. Hopefully you can hear me. I am coming to you literally from Capitol Hill. So I just stepped out of a meeting. And the reason I wanted to come here and talk to you all is because, as Betsy mentioned, today is the first day of the 119th Congress. We're here on day one to present the Physicians Committee's priorities and our things that we want to see this Congress do. And whether that's getting NIH more accountable for the billions with a B, billions of dollars that are spent on animal research, or whether it's making sure that kids have options to have non-dairy options in schools where they're talking to people, talking to members of Congress, introducing ourselves to them, introducing our priorities to them, and saying, hey, we're here on day one because this is so important. This Congress, we're going to see a lot of opportunities. Like I said, this Congress wants to take a look at what the federal government is doing around animal experiments. So much money is being wasted on ineffective research where non-animal methods can really come in and do a better job of whether it's testing new drugs, whether it's toxicology, or whether it's just medical research. We really need to be holding NIH more accountable for their billions of dollars that's being spent every year by that agency. And the other thing that we see here in Congress is challenges. We know that this Congress is going to continue to do what the animal ag industry wants to see. Last Congress, we were working to stop the Whole Milk for Healthy Kids Act. This bill is misnamed because really what it wants to do is it wants to bring whole dairy milk back to schools and give the dairy industry a huge loophole to allow fatty, unhealthy, and really inhumanely raised milk into schools. So we're going to do that. We're going to stop that bill. We're going to do what we can to also stop all of these other bad bills that just get introduced every year at the behest of the animal agriculture industry. So I just don't want to take up too much time because I know we've got a lot of things to talk about, but I'm really excited to be here up on Capitol Hill, and I couldn't be here without everyone here's continued support of the Physicians Committee and all that we do to get animals off the plates and to get animals out of labs. So with that, I'm going to hand things back to Betsy. Thanks so much for letting me join in here at the top of Mission Critical.
Well, thanks, Andrew, for bringing us the excitement from Capitol Hill and for getting yourself out of the action and finding a little quiet spot to give us an on-the-ground update. And
Great.
We look forward to having you on Mission Critical next week for a full debrief.
Yes, I'll look forward to it. I'll see everyone next week. Thanks so much.
Thanks. Well, let me share a note that I just received from Dr. Mark Hammond about a 5K event happening tomorrow in Fairhope, Alabama. So you all know Dr. Hammond from our Mission Critical chat. I see him there today. Hello, Dr. Hammond. And he also serves on our President's Council, volunteering his time to help us push this mission forward. He'll be sharing his nutrition knowledge at this event tomorrow, along with PCRM literature. Thank you for sharing. And what a great way to start the new year. So we have a link to the event that we'll put in the chat. This is the 5K event happening tomorrow in Fairhope, Alabama. Let's bring on PCRM dietitian Stephanie McBurnett. And she's become a regular presenter on Mission Critical. And today she's bringing us news about some very powerful health programs that PCRM offers to everyone for free. And it's all thanks to your support. So Stephanie, over to you.
Great. Thank you, Betsy. I'm going to share my screen. All right. So Happy New Year, everyone. January is all about fresh starts. And while many of you are already thriving on vegan lifestyles and diets, this is the perfect time to inspire and guide our friends, family, and maybe even casual acquaintances that come to you for advice. If someone asks about the benefits of a plant-based diet, don't worry, PCRM has you covered. We have plenty of helpful resources that you can share. while you're supporting in other ways. Maybe you invite them over for a vegan meal, suggest Veganuary to a friend, or go for a walk. Making positive changes is so much easier and a lot more fun when we do it together. I want to walk you through 2 new PCRM educational programs that will help people along the way. One of the newest programs, and one of my favorites, is the National Diabetes Program. Over 38 million Americans, that's 1 in 10, are diagnosed with diabetes, and many more are undiagnosed. So chances are you know someone who's struggling with this disease. You already know from PCRM research that a vegan diet can support health improvements, but sharing that information effectively can be a challenge. Thankfully, PCRM has made it easy with step-by-step resources available at the nationaldiabetesprogram.org. These tools are simple to read, watch, and share, perfect for anyone seeking answers. The website is designed with simple, easy-to-follow tabs that provide all the information someone might be looking for. Whether they want to watch a video, sign up for a support group, or dive into the research behind our guidance, everything is conveniently available in one place. The website features 15 informative, easy-to-digest videos covering a variety of topics, including the root cause of diabetes, how a plant-based diet can help, and practical tips for choosing healthy foods. The videos feature PCRM experts like dietitian Jennifer Paul and Dr. Neil Barnard and many others, bringing their knowledge and expertise to help guide participants on their journey to better health. But this program is truly unique. PCRM offers weekly live classes where participants can learn, ask questions, and engage directly. While most people don't have access to regular meetings with a health coach or dietitian, PCRM brings that personal touch to the masses, making expert guidance accessible for all. Live classes are every Tuesday from 12 to 1 Eastern, but if you can't make that, or if someone has a doctor's appointment, recordings and slides are available after class. Invite others anytime. Each class can be shown independently or viewed independently, so no need to wait, and you do not need to re-register to attend a future class. Here's an example of some of the education content. And as always, registered dietitians are in the question and answer box to answer anyone's questions. Understanding the science and expert recommendations is essential, but each class we take it a step further by featuring special guests and personal testimonies. These sessions provide a more engaging, relatable experience, fostering discussion and offering practical tips that participants can apply in their own lives. And just like having a weekly check-in with a health coach, this program provides weekly goals and progress check-ins to help ensure ongoing success and keep participants motivated on their journey. Each class includes easy-to-follow recipes, perfect for anyone, whether you're new to a vegan diet or just looking for fresh ideas. PCRM ensures the support and inspiration for everyone on their journey to healthier eating. This program really is a kickstart program for anyone with diabetes. At PCRM, we are deeply committed to accessibility and making a global impact for animals and for humans. To reach as many people as possible, we've launched an exciting new program this year, One Healthy World. This free, multilingual video series provides valuable support from leading global nutrition experts. Available in English, Spanish, and French, One Healthy World includes engaging video episodes on different topics with cooking demonstrations and resources tailored to diverse audiences, making it accessible and practical for everyone. On the One Healthy World website, one can access a range of episodes covering topics from skin health, heart disease, and cancer prevention. And for those exam room fans out there, our very own Chuck Carroll is the host with Dr. Gemma Newman. Each of these episodes dive into practical tips, expert advice, and inspiring stories to help viewers take charge of their health. Season 1 was launched early last year and was a huge success, thanks to the amazing hosts and special guests and the caring partners all over the world. All these previous episodes can be viewed on the website. Season 2 launched just this past November and December for our English and Spanish-speaking audiences, featuring fresh topics and new insights. Experts in their field shared the latest research and practical advice, making this season more informative and engaging. And the breaking news for everyone, we are proud to announce the launch of One Healthy World French Season 2, premiering next Friday, January 10th. This season includes 6 engaging episodes that will be released weekly, designed to inspire and empower French-speaking audiences to embrace healthier lifestyles through plant-based nutrition. Where can you watch? All the episodes are available on the One Healthy World French YouTube channel, and you can catch the episodes on the website for easy access as well. So as we welcome the new year, consider sharing an episode of One Healthy World or sending the website link for the National Diabetes Program to a friend. Your support has been instrumental in allowing us to expand this work and to share this vital information with people around the globe who need it most. We couldn't do this without you, our generous members who make it all possible. Let's make 2025 a year of health, community, and positivity. Back to you, Betsy.
That sounds like a good goal, Stephanie. I'm with you. Let's do it.
Great.
I mentioned that Dr. Hammond was on our President's Council, and I see more President's Council members jumping into the chat too. So just like to say hello to Alicia, our President's Council chair for the past 2 years in Miami, and Tony in New Jersey, also a President's Council member. It's hard to keep up with the chat today. It's, let's see, I see people from all over the United States. I see a lot of new names, and I see supporters chiming in from Germany and New Zealand and Luxembourg, Denmark. We're international. Thank you for joining us today. And thanks for sharing some of your resolutions too. Setting a goal is just such a good way to making sure something gets accomplished. So good luck to everybody. Well, I mentioned Chef Dustin Harder, and your mouth starts watering, right? Mine does. Chef Dustin is always making food fun, and his creative recipes and his enthusiasm are contagious. But let me welcome Chef Dustin to share even more of what PCRM has available to kickstart your health in 2025.
Thank you so much, Betsy. It's great to be here. I can't believe it, the first mission critical of 2025. So I'm thrilled to be part of it and thrilled to be here to chat with all of you. And the chat is on fire, which is lovely to see and very exciting and international. Speaking of One Healthy World in French, Season 2, January 10th. So many great things lined up. And as Stephanie mentioned, it's a new year with new goals, and you likely have friends and family coming at you asking, how do I do it? What do I do? And we just wanted to set you up for success and talk about some of the things you already know about, but maybe, you've gotten excited about one program, maybe you've forgotten we've had this other one. So we want to share all of the wonderful things that exist that you can use as a tool to help you in the new year as you're helping friends and family. And there's lots of ways to help, right? You can share recipes. That's one of the great ways. And if you go to PCRM.org, up at the top, there's that search bar. And I'm probably going to say this a lot in the next few minutes, but you can put anything into that search bar and you just get so many valuable links that pop up that you can share with people for free. So you can share recipes, look up recipes on there. All of the resources you can find by just popping into that search bar what you're looking for. One of the things I'm trying to do this year, anyone who's excited about a plant-based diet who it's new to, I'm saying, hey, come on over Friday night. Let's cook a meal together. So if you have a friend or a family member who's really excited about it, maybe say, what's your favorite vegetable? Okay, put it on the calendar. You're coming over Friday night. Go to that search engine at PCRM.org, type in eggplant. You're going to get some eggplant recipes if that's their favorite vegetable, right? And then you can share that recipe with them, send them the link so they have it for themselves to use at home as well. Another thing I want to recommend is being patient. I have a family member very close family member, got really excited about being plant-based last year, and they did it. They did it for a couple months, lost some weight, got better sleep, had great skin, all these things. And then life got away and they started reverting back to old ways. And I got a little frustrated. I backed up and I was like, okay, be patient. Now they're back at it again. So just be patient. You never know. Those things circle back around. Be patient, be available to people when they need you and they ask questions, and be open to recommending alternatives. Search the PCRM website to see what alternatives there are. All the things like meat, cheese, dairy, all the things that that people say, oh gosh, I could never live without that. But of course, there's specific programs we have that you can look at. And one thing we want to do is inspire people. So we've got a live screening of our Healthy Hospital Chef Challenge. This was a cooking competition that was at our ICNM 2024. We did this live in front of a studio audience. 3 chefs who worked in healthcare facilities came together to compete. There were 3 judges, a doctor, 2 other chefs, another chef who works in healthcare facilities was a judge as well. And they really inspired people with the dishes they brought to the table. So be sure to mark your calendar, January 21st at 6:30 p.m. It's going to be on the PCRM YouTube channel. We're going to send that link out to you in your email so you have it. Share it with friends and family so they get inspired as well. And we'll be excited to see you there. And then remember, we always have that 21-day vegan kickstart full of recipes, cooking tutorials, educational videos, grocery list, so many wonderful things that can start somebody off in the right direction when they're considering a plant-based diet. And of course, we want to help hospitals put their best foot forward. So we were hard at work in 2024, really revising and refining our Healthy Hospital Program website at healthyhospitalprogram.org. We added some new tools, and one of the ones I'm most excited about is our patient recipe book. We're actually doing a whole campaign to send these out to hospitals all over the country so they have them to hand out to their patients, but you can send the ebook to anyone you know for free right now. This is chock full of easy, accessible recipes, over 40 chef-curated recipes. Some of these recipes are served in hospitals right now, and that link's going to be in the chat for you to share with whoever you want to have this ebook. All of the recipes have nutritional values on them, and then if you have that friend or family member that says, oh gosh, I can't cook, I don't like it, I don't want to do it, we have convenience meals in the back, and this is literally 4 to 5 ingredients in a recipe. I say recipe, really, it's not a recipe. It's just the idea of a recipe, ingredients they can grab from the store, toss in a pan, and then they're going to have a meal that is a heck of a lot more healthier than the alternative of what they would having. And maybe little by little, they'll get into cooking. So that's an awesome part of this recipe book that I love. And then we also have a great new series we started on healthyhospitalprogram.org called Healthy Hospitals on Demand. So think of diners, drive-ins, and dives, but a plant-based version of it, not just a plant-based version of it, a healthful plant-based version that highlights hospitals that are stepping up and doing the right things for their patients. We talk to chefs at hospitals, we talk to doctors, registered dietitians, and we talk to patients who all speak to the benefits of a plant-based diet, not just the benefits of a plant-based diet, but the benefits of offering those things in a healthcare setting, how to apply them in a healthcare setting, and also how to help patients when they leave a healthcare setting. So we feature 3 hospitals in 3 of the episodes, and then we also have a tofu cooking tutorial that we collaborated with the Institute of Culinary Education with, and then also a convenience swaps video talking about ways to swap out meat, eggs, dairy, all of those things, right? And then, of course, you can't forget, you might get that person who says, oh, I'd love to go plant-based, but I have all of these allergies. Never fear. That's why Universal Meals is here, so that everyone has a seat at the table. Of course, this is 150 recipes over at universalmeals.org that are all void of the top 9 allergens. You can just send that link to someone, and they've got 150 recipes at their fingertips that are so easy to make. And if you think of it, we've got our Food for Life instructors available to you. However you choose to use them, they're all over the world. This is such a fabulous thing that we have. So many talented, thoughtful instructors that just really offer an education, but also their own story with it. And I just thought of this the other day. How fun would it be to have a Food for Life instructor in your home, maybe the end of January, maybe for a Galentine's night for Valentine's, but you have your friends and family over, and then you have a Food for Life class. How fun would that be? So there's different ways to incorporate all of our programs. You can get creative with it. And of course, you can find the Food for Life instructors at PCRM.org. Just put it up in that search bar. And that's sort of just an overall look at things you can use that we have, recipes, different programs, different resources, videos. And as we mentioned before, the Exam Room podcast, you can never go wrong with that. And detailed health information from heart health to diabetes. You put that in that search bar at PCRM.org. You're going to find a bunch of wonderful articles, videos, and resources, tools available for you to use there so that you can be that spark that Stephanie talked about. Be that spark, that spark of change that might help ignite someone's health and wellness journey. And just thank you. We can't do this without you. I wish you all the happiest and healthy new year. And thank you for allowing us to do this work.
Dustin, now where can I find those, where can I search for those, those programs again?
Right at the top, PCRM.org, right at the top, right-hand corner. You got it right there.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. Thanks for sharing all this with us. Well, hearing about what you can do, like all of these resources that PCRM has, so you can give yourself some love is what we've been hearing about today. But please remember, when you eat your plants, you'll be giving the animals love as well. So it's just, you can share it all the way around. It's a win-win. So hello to Mindy, who's joined us. I see in the chat, the chair of the board is joining us today. Thanks, Mindy, for all you do. Well, as a way to reflect and celebrate PCRM's 40 years of progress, on the first Friday of every month, we'll be sharing a Flashback Friday moment. And this is a look back at a particular campaign, a victory, or something that has stood the test of time and helped bring us to where we are today. So Dr. Barnard, do you have a Flashback Friday moment that you'd like to share with us?
I sure do. Thank you, Betsy. Absolutely. And can you believe that it has been 40 years? Well, it has. Let me share my screen. I'd like to walk back in time. Okay. Before I get to our flashback moment, I would like to maybe just give an overview of where we are now compared with where we were when we started 40 years ago, 1985. A lot has changed since we started. Back then, in 1985, dog labs were a medical school requirement at most medical schools in the US and Canada. Today, they aren't used at all. There isn't a single medical school in the US or Canada that even offers any kind of a laboratory, whether it's a dog lab or any other animal lab, to students up through their MD degree. All gone. That's right, as of 2016. Back when we started, chimpanzees were the indispensable human substitute in experiments. The whole idea was they are most like us, so they should be experimented on. Today, gone. Thank you. And I want to do a shout out not only to our research team, but especially to Dr. John Pippin, who was on the call today and was particularly active in that campaign. So thank you, John. And when it came to changing animal testing policies, animal protection groups had no seat at the table. It was all industry. Environmental groups were listened to because they were calling for more animal tests. But today, not only are we at the table, this is Elizabeth Baker, who directs all of our programs on alternatives, but we are now teaching regulators, we're teaching scientists about non-animal methods. They are excited to learn about them, and they are putting them to use. Way back when we started in 1985, doctors did not promote vegan diets. They didn't know about them, and they probably couldn't pronounce the word. But today, thousands and thousands of doctors are doing so. This is our annual conference, the International Conference on Nutrition and Medicine, which we have every year. We have a huge number of doctors who take this back to their communities. And while they're in DC, they come to the White House to make sure that everybody gets the message. At the time when we started in 1985, there wasn't that much evidence in scientific journals about the benefits of vegan diets. Today, there is a huge amount of scientific evidence. We'll take a lot of the credit for doing some of those studies and inspiring others, but others have also come in and really nailed that down in a great way. One of the things where we have been instrumental is changing the whole view of type 2 diabetes in particular. Back in 1985, once you had diabetes, you would always have diabetes. That's what doctors thought. Today, we now know that this is a reversible condition for a great many people. And as you may remember back, it was 2003 that NIH gave us a grant for the first major test of a low-fat vegan diet for type 2 diabetes. And when we started to see diabetes actually going away for the first time. Back when we started, And for the first, 7 or 8 years of our existence, the AMA was dead set against vegan diets. And they came out really swinging when we would say, you don't need meat, you don't need dairy products. The AMA came out and said, yes, you do. If you don't have meat and dairy every day, it'll be risky for you. Well, I'm happy to tell you that the AMA changed its tune. And today, these are people who are delegates and members of the AMA who are pushing the AMA to adopt plant-based policies, which it has done with great vigor. Changing hospital menus, which we heard a little bit about this from Dustin a couple minutes ago, that the AMA says, yes, hospitals ought to be serving plant-based meals. They ought to throw out the processed meats. The dietary guidelines ought to be clear. You don't need meat. You don't need dairy. The very things that they were contesting years ago, now the AMA is strongly on our side. You shouldn't have to have a note from a doctor to go to your school and say, I don't want dairy, I want an alternative. The AMA says, scrap that. Everybody should get alternatives as well. And in 2019, I was named a member of the AMA House of Delegates, and I'm still serving there now, representing the Medical Society of DC. There was no voice for vegan diets in developing countries. I'm thinking especially about India and China, the two biggest countries on the globe. But you've heard us in the past couple of Mission Criticals really talk about our work in both of those countries that has been huge and ongoing and repetitive, and it's got to be because they are big countries with lots and lots of people in them. But we've been able to reach a great many people and have plans for reaching a great many more, thanks to our team there. So back in 1985, you didn't hear doctors speaking out about animal experiments. You didn't hear them speaking out about healthy diets. And today, well, speaking out, that's what we do. That's our whole thing, whether it's for ethical research or changing diets. We don't hesitate. We don't mince our words. We are there to speak out clearly. And the press listens, and there's nothing like an authoritative doctor speaking up. The meat and milk groups, back in 1985, they were big in the guidelines. Well, today, everything has changed. Why? It was 2009 that we went to the White House and said, let's switch from a pyramid to a plate. Let's get rid of the meat group. And we had to litigate against the US government for the adoption of something better. And what they came up with was not perfect, but it was a step in the right direction. They got rid of the meat group, substituted a protein group. There was a little dairy still left in there, unfortunately, but it's been a big change, and we've been a prime driver of that. And just at the end of the year, you heard us talk about this late last year, the new Dietary Guidelines Committee came out and said, plant-based diets, listen to it, get to know it, put it front and center. The primary sources of protein should not be meat. They should be beans and other plant-based foods. Can you believe it? That's our federal Dietary Guidelines committee talking, which is great. And we will take a fair amount of the credit for that happening, but I want to mostly give the credit to the committee members themselves who listened and who have taken action. But as Andrew said at the top of the program, the dice are rolling as we speak because we got a new administration coming in. Who knows where this is going to go? So stay tuned. We will keep you posted and we'll let you know about ways to help. Now, before we go, Betsy mentioned that we're going to be doing Flashback Fridays. First one today. And we're going to talk each month about one of our programs. So I wanted to focus now on our program that started back at the very beginning when we wanted to tackle the issue of what I'm going to call dog labs. When we started in 1985, I was practicing at St. Vincent's Hospital. Those of you who know New York, it's not there anymore, but at the time it was on 7th Avenue and 12th on the sort of lower west side of Manhattan. And we called it the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine because we thought we'd have 15 doctors who would opine on these issues. And of course, we've grown beyond what we could have ever imagined, but we still are called the Physicians Committee. One of the issues, though, that I wanted to deal with was one that I knew about because when I was in medical school, my medical school had a laboratory where you were supposed to kill a dog in the course of an afternoon as part of an experiment. I refused to participate, but I realized that there was a big problem. And I want to show you a picture that's a little upsetting. And if an upsetting picture is going to bother you, look away for a minute. I'm just going to show this to you for 30 seconds. This is a dog lab. 1985, most medical schools had them. The students would line up around it. This is a dog in a dog lab. In an hour or two, he's going to be dead. They give the animal drugs to demonstrate their effects on the heart. They can exsanguinate the dog, meaning drain all the blood out. The dogs end up in trash bags outside the rooms. And there are two kinds of deaths: the dogs, and the part of the student's brain that has respect for life that they act on is dead too. Okay, let me shift away. If you can look back at your screen now. We made it our business to get rid of those for a particular reason. First of all, you don't want the animals to be dying unnecessarily. What's the point of that? Secondly, when students train on animals, they somehow get the idea that you need to be killing animals to have medical progress. But when they train on an alternative, a simulator or some other way, they don't think the animals are necessary at all. They're much more open to it. So we thought, all right, we need to move this area first. And Harvard medical students came to see us here in Washington. And they said, we've got a dog lab. We don't want to participate, and we don't want anyone to participate. Help us get rid of it. So we worked with the course director, who was not really that wedded to it. And he said, well, instead of demonstrating drugs on animals, on dogs, the drugs are used in clinical practice. Let's bring the students into the operating room where they'll see these medicines used during the course of operations. The students came in, they put on their gloves and masks and so forth, and they felt, like they were seeing medicine practiced because they were, and they could see norepinephrine, propranolol, other drugs being used as they're used clinically. And the Harvard dumped its dog lab. Gone. And the instructor became kind of a hero because he came up with a much better way to teach students about how these work. And then Henry Heimlich became quite a friend of ours as well. You remember the originator of the Heimlich maneuver. He shared our view about the use of animals in research and worked with Mass General Hospital to create a video trumpeting the value of the method that we had worked out with the Harvard team. And so Dr. Heimlich narrated that, and it got sent around to medical schools all over the world, which is great. Now, there are some cases that are not as nicely dealt with as the Harvard victory was. At the University of Colorado, we had to litigate because the school was not respecting the right to refuse to participate, including people who had a religious view that prevented them from killing animals. The school would force them to participate. We went in, litigated on the side of the students. We won, they lost. And I'm happy to say that the University of Colorado then became animal-free. And here's Dr. Pippin, by the way. When Dr. Pippin joined our staff, I got to tell you, we shifted gears into a much higher gear. And John and the team were really indefeatable, however you pronounce that word. John was just a ball of fire to stop one school after another from using animals. Now, the Johns Hopkins University was the second to last medical school, and they did not want to get rid of their lab. They switched from dogs to pigs, saying, well, people won't care if it's a pig. But they did care. They said, why are you killing a pig? What's the point of that? And then they came out with this statement. The researchers at Hopkins said, the pig lab teaches students about the sanctity of life. Okay, chew on that for a minute. You're going to kill pigs to learn about the sanctity of life. If you need that for students, I think you must have recruited the wrong students. I want to say a big thank you to Barbara Wasserman and Marty Wasserman, who are Hopkins alumni and work with us, of course. Barbara's on our board of directors. They worked with our alma mater, and that lab was gone. And as soon as Hopkins stopped its lab, that left one. And the one remaining dog lab was in Chattanooga, Tennessee, University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. And they said, wait a minute, we are the only medical school in the United States still using animals in teaching. Well, we don't want to be that. And they just, based on nothing else other than that, they stopped the use of animals entirely. So that was 2016. All animal labs had ended. You heard us mention a couple of weeks ago that Duke did try to restart a pig lab, which instantly was kicked to the curb and canceled, and they pointed out it was a violation, so it was gone. So up to the MD degree, there's no more use of animals at all in medical education. Now, in advanced medical study, such as residency or fellowship, there still is some animal use. We were able to eliminate it all from pediatrics. Cats were used in intubation training. It's all gone. Advanced trauma life support, there is one laboratory that still uses animals. It's in Fargo, North Dakota, my hometown. I'm sorry to say, every single other lab is gone. But there is that one using animals still. Emergency medicine, there are 8 left. That's 97%. We are animal free, but 8 of them still use animals. We're working on them now. In surgery, we've got about 60 some labs, 63 labs that are still there. The vast majority have stopped. More than 3/4 of surgery residencies and fellowships don't use animals at all, but 1 in 4 does, and we're out to stop them. So stay tuned. The ones that are particularly in conversations with us, can I put it that way, are the Western Michigan University School of Medicine, Brown University, Medical College of Wisconsin, University of Arizona, St. Elizabeth's, Oregon Health and Science University, and University of Cincinnati. We're going to win at all of these. But these are ones that are slow to think about it, slow to come to the decisions that others have come to. The reason that we're going to win, and I can say that with confidence, is that the law says, the animal welfare basically says, that if there are alternatives, then you must consider using them. And all of these institutions have institutional animal care and use committees that have as a principle that if there is a replacement, you must use it. You can't use animals. So getting them to implement that is often a job, but that's what Dr. Pippin and the rest of our team, Christine and Ryan and everybody is working on day in, day out. So let me stop at that point and thank all of you for making this work possible. Much more to come.
Well, that's a powerful flashback, Dr. Barnard, and it's important to remember all the work that has gone into getting us where we are right now.
Yeah, it sure has. And there's lots of work left. And of course, I didn't mean to suggest that it's only animals in education. We'll be talking about animal use in testing, animal use in research, but we're very active in all these areas, making great progress. And thanks to the team, but thanks more than anything to all our members, many of whom are on this call today.
And we're going to bring you a Flashback Friday moment, the first Friday of every month throughout our anniversary year. So hope you'll join us and stay tuned.